Hello and welcome back to Clownfish TV. It is me, Geeky Sparkles, and I am here by myself for this video. And I feel kind of bad that I'm here by myself for this video because it's a little bit of vindication of something we've been telling you, okay? So Blog Mickey has recently put up an article where Imagineer Carmen Smith admitted that they were working on the Princess and the Frog overlay for Splash Mountain a while before it was announced in 2020, which we've been telling you. You don't come up with concept art like that in a couple days because it was an ongoing rumor for years. Now, they're saying it started in 2018. I can tell you for a fact I heard rumors about this before 2018, but at least with Carmen Smith that they actually started pushing forward to it, according to her, in 2018. I really wish Kneon was here for this because he'd be like, damn it, yes. Before we get into any further, please like and subscribe. If you do, you'll get a woohoo, and we're going to talk about this. So, back in June of 2020, they announced, and that was they waited till, and I've said this many times, they waited until there was the Summer of Love, the peaceful protests of that summer, which we all know were actually riots, but that's another story entirely. And they waited till then to put this announcement out that they were going to retheme Splash Mountain to Princess and the Frog because Splash Mountain was so problematic. They were trying to do this for years. We kept telling you that we heard they were trying to do this for years. And every time they would try to do it, they would get pushed back. All right. So what they did was they waited till 2020 when they waited till that was going on. They used their Carmen Smith, who's one of their Imagineers, who actually was executive creative development of inclusion strategies for Walt Disney Imagineering. Okay. So they use her and then they push it through because everybody's like Black Lives Matter, support, support, support. And they pushed this through. All right. Still wasn't a very well liked idea. But they still pushed it through and they used, you're a racist if you don't like it. And they still try to use this if you don't like it. Even people that are not white, you're apparently a racist if you don't like it. Well, now it's coming out, according to an interview that was done, and they have it here on Blog Mickey, that she is the Imagineering Senior Vice President, Creative Development, Content, Product, Inclusion Strategies. And she said Imagineers began developing the idea back in 2018. It was actually sooner, but we'll go with 2018 because it still proves our point. This was not new. We kept telling you this is not new. They were trying to pull this shit. They were trying to do it for a while, but it kept getting pushed back, okay? So they officially announced it on June 25th, 2020. And they're saying that it was going to be a Princess and the Frog attraction. And they used like the racial, tones of the day as a reason why they felt like they had to change it. They were trying to change it before. This just proves everything we've been telling you, okay? So here's what she said. She said, I think we've all had an opportunity in our lives to think about something that we've always wanted to do. I've always followed the Tiana story, working for the Walt Disney Company over 40 years, and just seeing that come to life, I realized there was a great story there. Okay, in Disneyland, where Splash Mountain is near New Orleans Square. Okay, we don't have that Disney World, it's Liberty Square, but it's New Orleans Square. That's why the Haunted Mansion looks like, from New Orleans and stuff like that. Plantation House. That's where it's located. It's back that way. The story was that they were deliberately trying to think of something to replace it with because people have been complaining about it for years. And when Princess and the Frog happened, one of the reasons they were considering it because it's a water-based movie and it happens in New Orleans and it fits right there with New Orleans Square. All right? It's something they've been trying to do for a while. And I relate to Ariel, but doesn't mean that they're going to just turn. If I was an Imagineer, I'd be allowed to be like, hey, let's go turn this into an Ariel retraction or whatever character I liked that looked like me. But okay, I digress. Again, probably 2018. It was sooner than that. We began to shape and mold that there is a story here for us to tell. I'm one of those Imagineers that if you tell me no, I look at that as a road to yes. Yeah, you were told no. People, when it was rumored to be happening, people kept telling you no. And you looked for road to yes. The road to yes was summer of 2020. That was what you took as your road to yes. So it's a bit of a journey. But again, I look at no's as opportunities to continue and iterate and refine the story that you want to tell. Again, kept getting pushed back until you leveraged the BLM riots in the summer of 2020. You don't tell the story until you have a full team. So I'll just say that. You don't tell the story until you have a bunch of people on board with it and using it the opportunity and the sad issues that happened at the time to leverage your idea. We worked on that story probably starting in 2018. It was before that. And a lot of things happened in our world. A lot of things happened in our world. Leadership said, Carmen, you've got a bucket of projects that you're working on. Wait. We started this in 2018 when a lot of things happened in our world. Leadership said, You've had a bucket of projects you're working on. What do you want to do? What do you want to showcase for us? So basically what you're telling me is in 2018, when a lot of things started happening in our world, then they started asking you what you wanted to do. Okay. And Tiana's Bayou Adventure is one of them. And leadership said yes. And again, no one at WDI, Walt Disney Imagineering, works alone. We're an incredible team. But you didn't put it through to 2020 because you got pushback. Because it was rumored and it got leaked. And people were like, hell no. And it took the issues in 2020 for you to even do it. And then you suddenly pull it out of your ass that you're changing this. And acting like, oh, it just happened, when we kept telling you it did not just happen. It's a long-standing rumor. This art doesn't just appear out of anywhere because you're working on it way before that, okay? You were just looking for the right opportunity to try to leverage bigotry as a reason to get you what you wanted. Later in the interview, they're talking to other people about how they started gaining traction in 2020. Sharita Carter. Well, when we really got started on this project as a project team, me and the producer, part of my role is to cast the team. So I had to cast our creatives and our designers. And normally we would call our blue sky process, which is that very upfront ideation session where we were coming up with the story and we talk about what our guest experience will be. We're normally together. We're in a room and we're pinning stuff on boards. But, because it was COVID, I got to call it my COVID baby because we got the start in 2020 at the height of the pandemic. We were all very isolated. So they're talking about, okay, they're doing Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Okay, listen. It's okay to update attractions, this one, I think people like the other way, but I get it. You have to update attractions, and Disney is notorious for IP, which is his IP before, but I know they've been trying to do this for a while. They used the opportunity to make it so. There's nothing wrong with updating it. It needed probably updated anyway. I'm not going to say it didn't because it probably did. It's yet to be seen if it's an improvement or not. Like Great Movie Ride, way better than Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. And you can fight me on that. I don't care. You're wrong. An update is okay. The problem is you couldn't get it pushed through until you had to leverage social issues to do it. All right. This is also, like I said, run by the woman who is the Executive Creative Development Inclusion Strategies for Disney Imagineering. She leads efforts to help ensure Disney attractions and experiences are relevant to some guests. She's also one of the ones that was behind the Disneyland Jungle Cruise reimagining. Here was her quote: "As Imagineers, it's our responsibility to ensure experiences we create and stories we share reflect the voices and perspectives of the world around us. With Jungle Cruise, we're bringing to life more of what people love, the humor and wit of our incredible skippers, while making needed updates. Because it's so much better to take Trader Sam and make him, don't put him in the ride because it's, it's a stereotype. But instead at the end, leave it like it's a lost and found, but he crossed out lost and found because he's fencing, missing lost items to make money. He's still doing what he did before, but, now you don't see him, but he's fencing it, which is even worse. And then these are also the brain trust who thought we need to take all the natives out of the ride and replace them with chimpanzees because that makes so much more sense. And then said they had to make sure they were being authentic to chimpanzees. I did a video on this before. I'm going to take you here. They said here, the reason to bring together a diverse project team. We wanted to make sure that any changes we made from a relevancy standpoint were done right. So we've been working with Carmen Smith, Executive for Creative Development Inclusion Strategies, and her team within Imagineering to make sure that anytime we show something culturally significant, it's done in the proper light. Again, you remove natives and replace them with chimpanzees. It's done in a way that celebrates diverse backgrounds and interests. That's part of the rich storytelling, not something you poke fun at, because they're talking about how the skippers would make jokes about stuff. Well, you don't poke fun at them. That's not funny. When introducing new elements, even animals, we make sure they're done in a respectful way. We reached out to Dr. Mark Penning and his team at Disney's Animal Kingdom and said, look, we have these chimpanzees that are coming into our new world and we want to have fun with them. But how do we make sure it's done in an authentic way for the chimpanzees? We want to have fun, but we're not making fun of the animals. I wish I was kidding. I'm totally serious. This is a D23 interview. This is the mentality of what we're dealing with here, what we're working with. That's why it got changed. But again, it stands true that what we said was it was in development way before 2020. It was in development before 2018. I could have swore I heard about it before that. Maybe not, but I know at least it was leaked when they started working on it and there was a lot of pushback way before they announced it. That's why the art was completely finished. This piece does not get done in like a week. It just does not happen. All right? We told you, and that's exactly what's going on. Even according to the person in charge of it, who apparently they couldn't get the go-ahead until 2020. And they announced it in June 2020 because then they're like, well, now we got to say something because Black Lives Matter. I mean, my daughter's a huge Splash Mountain fan, but she's also a huge Princess and the Frog fan. So as long as it's done well, she's happy either way. But, you know, I'm just tired of this whole idea that you can't just do something because you want to do something because it's good. You just want to do something because you have to leverage identity politics to do it. And I'm not saying this is going to be a terrible ride. It might be great. I don't know yet. We don't know. It's yet to be seen. All right. Whether it's better or not than Splash Mountain, we don't know. And it might be, if we're being fair. But, and it needed a refresh too. It really did need a refresh in some way, shape, or form. But this idea that they're just doing it because it just suddenly seems like a right thing to do at the time. No, they are planning this for a while. It wasn't getting through. They leveraged issues in the world to try to push through what they wanted to push through. And I mean, these are the people who are worried about what animatronic chimpanzees feel like, because we don't want people laughing at them. We want them laughing with them. They're animatronic chimpanzees. They're not real chimpanzees. And chimpanzees aren't a good stand-in for natives either. Anyway, it is what it is, but there it is. So we will talk to you later. Bye.